If you like doing damage, if you like helping your teammates, and also you like people to call you a no-skill piece of fucking shit, then I recommend you Viktor, the Lone Wolf.
Garage incoming!
So who's Viktor and what the fuck does he do? Well, Viktor is a champion, a damage champion that you can play in Paladins, and he deals some nice damage, mind blow, to the enemies in the short and in the middle range. You can do this by using your assault rifle and also by using your grenade with you can cook and also by using your ultimate. Now, I'll talk to you about should you play Viktor or not by explaining you the basics of him, his abilities, his legendary cards, his loadout cards, and also some little quick tips about him of when you should use your ultimate, how to use it, your basic attacks and stuff like that, which cards to use, kinda a little bit like legendary cards. But then in the end, well, we'll talk about should you play Viktor or not. But let's get started with the video, and first of all we'll talk about his abilities. First of all we'll talk about his basic attack, which is his assault rifle. This rifle shoots every 0.1 seconds and also it deals 130 damage. Little tip, well not tip, but little information, little bonus is the fact that your first 4 shots from every single like reload, you know, when you reload the first 4 shots will deal extra damage, extra 40 damage, and that's really great. More damage, more kills. So all the fucking game you will look a little bit like this. Keep in mind the fact that if you are not aiming down with your iron sights, well, these shots will just go all over the place, and that's why we have our second ability, iron sights. What do you do when you activate this ability? Well, first of all, you will move 50% slower, and also you will gain a 100 accuracy in your shots, so wherever you fire, the bullet will get there. Not as you were like hip firing that it went all over the fucking place. No, this will be like a laser beam, let's call it like that. Then we have our grenade or frag grenade, and what the hell does it do? This is a little bit more complicated ability. It's divided in 3 parts, okay? So first of all, when you activate your Q, your frag grenade will be thrown and it will explode in 1.5 seconds, dealing some AoE damage of 750, Jesus. And also, here comes the other 2 parts about this. First of all, if you hit an enemy with explosion, then that enemy will take 15% increased damage from your basic attacks for 4 seconds, right? He will have this effect of extra 50% damage for 4 seconds. And also you can cook your grenade. What do I mean by cooking your grenade? Well, it means that if you hold your Q, right, your Q button, your Q from the keyboard, then this grenade will stay in your hand, and as soon as you throw it, then it will explode a little bit faster. So let's say that you activate your Q, you wait 0.5 seconds and then throw your grenade. You know that it already exploded in 1.5, but now it will explode in 1 second, right? So that's kind of how it works. Then we have Hustle. What does Hustle do? Well, when you activate this ability with your F by default, right, you will lower your weapon and run by increasing your movement speed in a 65%. Now, when it says that you will lower your weapon, it means that you won't be able to shoot. As soon as you try to, well, left click or shoot anything, you will stop the effect of the increased movement speed, right? So you won't be able to just run and gun. That will be impossible. So if you have to decide whether to stay in a fucking place and shoot, or you can just run around, but you can't do both, right? And then we have our ultimate, which is called Barrage, and this is also really simple. That's the cool thing about Viktor, the fact that all around him, all the fucking things that he does, it's so simple, since his like abilities and also his ultimate, and also his legendary cards. So that's the cool thing about him. It's a really great champion, so you can start, well, keep it on with the theme. When you activate your ultimate, you will bring up some binoculars that you will look through, and also you will be able to click on enemy players to guide an artillery shell dealing 1400 damage in the location. So basically you'll bring up these binoculars, and you can click on any enemy that you have on your line of sight, not behind a wall. You have to be able to see him, and then you will create this big ass like red area that after 0.75 seconds it will explode, something will drop, a shell will drop, and it will deal 1400 damage. Pretty basic, and you can also shoot 3 of this, right? So as you can see, Viktor really does well when it comes to deal damage, because first of all you have your basic attack, right? Then you have an ability which enhances in a way your basic attack by, well, making the accuracy of this thing just really great. And then you have your grenade, which aside from dealing your area of effect damage, right, it also gives you a 15% increase in your damage in your basic attack. So you can see that this guy is all about damage, and that's really great. And also he has his mobility, his F, that will allow him to run and just try to get on cover or chase an enemy, and that's really great. That's the cool thing about Viktor, and he's really easy to use. Now we will talk about his legendary cards, and the thing about his legendary cards is the fact that it's so simple as also his abilities. He keeps this simplicity in every single aspect of him. Now keeping on with his legendary cards, we have first of all Gunnery. And what does Gunnery do? Well, if you're aiming down your iron sights, if you're aiming with your iron sights, and if you attack an enemy with your basic attacks, those basic attacks will deal a 15% increased damage. That's it. But if you're not aiming down your iron sights and you're just like hip firing with this card, firefighting, firefight, you will be able to deal 30% extra damage. So you can decide, do you want to just spray and pray, or you want to be a little bit more precise and get your shots into your enemy but deal a little bit less damage. Now keep in mind that you have your grenade little effect for 4 seconds, so this is amazing. You can get either 30% extra damage or 45% extra damage. This is the thing that I love about him. And now we have Cardio, which is a fucking card that I hate. When I'm playing against a Viktor with this card, I hate it. What does it do? Well, if you activate your hustle, you will heal for 250 health for every single second that you are running. That's about it. This gives you so much fucking survivability, and the fact that you are chasing down a Viktor with this thing and he's fucking healing and healing and healing, Jesus Christ, it just like makes you go crazy. Which card should you use? That's the golden question. Now, it depends. Like, the thing about Paladins is the fact that everything is so situational, from your loadout to your legendary card to the objects to even the fucking champion. So that's the thing. I would recommend to go, well, what I always use is either Hustle or Gunnery. Why Gunnery? Because I prefer to be a little bit more precise. I don't like to just spray and pray. I like to be a little bit more precise when it comes to playing with Viktor, right? And also, sometimes when I feel that I will be focused on really fucking hard, let's say that the enemy team has 2 flanks, then I would recommend to go with Hustle, since you are kind of like an easy target. You're a must kill when it comes to a competitive game, since your damage output is really great in my opinion. So I would go with those two kinda. I would go with Gunnery if you know that you won't be that of a fucking sitting duck with 2 flanks, but if you see 2 flanks or 2 enemies that can chase you down and will chase you down, I would recommend to go with Hustle, right? And about cards, let's talk about, well, not cards, but items. Fucking how's it called? Fuck, I forgot it. Cauterize. I will always recommend to go with Cauterize. It's a really great item in my opinion for Viktor. If no one has Cauterize in your team, try to buy it first. Like, it's a really big help. I mean it, but that's in my opinion, right? You can think of something else, but in my opinion, Cauterize and Viktor go really well. Now let's talk about his loadout cards. I won't be talking about every single one of them since it will take like a fucking week. So I'll just tell you the big things. It's damage and survivability. Like, it will give you some reductions in your cooldown of your grenade by hitting if you hit multiple targets, or you can go with other little thingies like having a bigger magazine, like having a bigger ammo count so you can shoot more, or you can go with other things that have to do a lot with your ammo, like regenerating ammo for doing certain things, like if you kill an enemy, if you have an elimination, that you'll get like extra something depending on the level of the card. But this thing has a lot to do with a mixture between dealing a lot of damage and having a little bit of survivability by increasing the speed of your hustle and stuff like that. So that's the thing. it's really basic in a way. If you look at the loadout, you can make a fucking loadout really easily. Last but not least, I'll talk to you about some little tips for Viktor, mainly 2, which are the most important ones, since I think that this video will be seen by mostly beginners to actually apply it on their gameplay, since, well, Viktor is a really beginner friendly champion. So yeah, first of all, don't go fucking Rambo on your matches if you're playing Viktor. You are not made for that. That's what tanks are for. So just stay in the middle back line dealing damage, and don't just run inside of the fucking fight, since you will be killed really easily, and that damage is a big problem for the team that you're playing with. And also, another thing, and it's your ultimate. Try to use your ultimate when you see a lot of people in a fucking small area. So first of all, if it's a closed and small area, try to use it in that area, and try not to just solo ult. This is an area of effect damage that has a lot of damage in it. You can pack a punch with it, so use it in the biggest amount of enemies that you can. When you see people just clogging up in a fucking space, try to bring up this ultimate. Don't solo ult. If you're gonna solo ult, make it fucking count, and make it when it's a really important situation, like trying to kill an enemy really fast before he captures the last point in the match, kind of like that. Now, should you play Viktor? Fucking yes. He is easy to use, he is also really effective, and also he does really well in matches. So I would recommend to go with him if you're starting out, or even if you are you have a little bit of more time in the game. So I'm JustAColombian, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you learned a thing or two, and I'll go drink a cup of coffee because I'm really fucking tired. So see you guys in the next video. Have a great time.